And the title of 2023 Mr. Olympia goes to Derek Lunsford. Yippee! Excitement, he wrote. Well, actually, it was a little bit lackluster. Taking nothing away from Derek Lunsford, he is your reigning champion. And he's good, he's very good. But at the end of the day, the event itself was a little bit lackluster because there was no Nick Walker. And I know some of you are thinking, but Mark's Max Muscle, that's only one man. It just so happens to be the man that I predicted to win the Olympia that year. So in my mind, in my heart, he was the crowning jewel of that event. And it was just never meant to be. So, little bit lackluster was last year's Mr. Olympia event. But you know what? So was the entire year lackluster. And in this video, that's what we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss last year's pro shows versus this year's pro shows. And we're going to begin with the Romania Muscle Fest Pro. Not to be confused, this was 2022 for the 2023 season. And it'll be vice versa with 2023's. But anyway, we have Beirut Tabani winning the Romania Muscle Fest Pro. He's a great champion. And this video is not meant to discredit anybody that won their pro shows in 2023, or in this case, 2022. But take a look at top 5? We have Brett Wilkin at the end. I know he placed second to Beirut. That was a pretty good matchup. Roman Fritz, Enrico Hoffman, and Jan Tarak. They made up the rest of the top 5. Now take a look at for this year's 2023 Romania Muscle Fest Pro. Wow, what a star-studded lineup. We have the big newcomer, Horse MD. We have Samson Dauda, last year's champion, Beirut Tabani. And what the heck, Nathan Diasha. What a top 4. Talk about top flight competition. And it did come down to Samson Dauda and Beirut Tabani. And it's always exciting to see the returning champion. Both dudes looked incredible. And the fact that Samson Dauda defeated the previous year's champion makes the 2023 Romania Muscle Fest Pro far superior, not only on paper, than the 22 event, but in reality as well. And that's what we're going to discuss, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to discuss how this year's events have been so much better than last year's. Now, what was the next show? And this will be the last one. That's actually 2022, but it was a qualifier for 2023. This was the Prague Pro. You guys remember Michael Krizo won the Prague Pro a couple of years back, the qualifier for 2023? You guys know who he defeated? Jan Tarak. That's who placed second. Jan Tarak. That was the competition. I mean, Krizo's awesome, but give him somebody to compete against. This is the 2023 Prague Pro. Have a little sniff at this. The big newcomer, Nexzilla. He placed third. And Michael Krizo got second. So right there on paper, this year's event, or last year's, is so much better than the year prior that it's not even funny, because Samson Dauda, he took the title. So having the previous year's champion placing second and this big new freak placing third, Nexzilla, it created a lot of depth in this event. So what type of depth did 2022 have? I mean, who's this? Coconut Belly Coconut? Something of that nature. He got third. So that's all the bells and whistles and food for thought. Go back to 2023. Notice another dude over there. That's Nathan Diasha. Top flight competition in any event. He got fourth. So, wow. 2024 qualifiers. This is 2023, but the the Olympia qualifiers 2023, I would suggest, is 2-0 versus 2023. Now, this is pretty interesting. This is fun. Let us go to the next event, which was the big one, the Arnold Classic. And I guess we're beginning with this year's. Hey, my producers set me up with the pictures. I have to follow suit. We had Samson Dauda, Hadi Shupin, and Hafa Brandao. And I will admit, Last year's Arnold Classic, go to the top 3 from that event. These woods are just as deep. I'm here to tell you. We had Andrew Jacked, who got 3rd. Samson Dauda won this event, and Nick Walker took 2nd. So, yeah, this year's did not have your Andrew Jacks or your Nick Walkers. And food for thought, the pool was a little bit deeper than that. They had Big Rammy, Ramalama Ding Dong. Big Rammy took 4th. So the pool was very deep. The woods were very thick, I should say. But fast forward to this year's, and I'll explain why I think this year's was a superior event. We had Samson Dauda, last year's champion. He placed 2nd. So yes, the woods were a little bit thicker. Woods were a little bit deeper. But ultimately, I think this year's tree, the tallest tree, was the tallest. Well, Heidi Schuppen's not a tall tree, but you know what I'm saying. Sing! A philosophy type reasoning. Samson Dauda, last year's champion, lost to this year's champion, which was Heidi Schuppen. So you could argue and say last year's event was better, but I'll go ahead and notch a victory for 2024. What was the next event? Another Arnold Classic? The Arnold Classic South America 2023. Beirut Tabani was your champion. There's Wellington Bautista. He took 2nd. And Amir Almeragic, he took 3rd. With all due respect to these athletes, great bodybuilders, especially Beirut. I mean, wow. But look at this year's top 3, if you will. We have Tony O'Burton, a main eventer in any event, and the champion in Rafael Brandao, who actually has had victories over Beirut Tabani, at least one in the past there. So on paper, this is a better event. And the big newcomer, Vitaly Ugolnikov, who was arguably pushing Rafael. I mean, this guy's incredible, and he got 3rd. So absolutely, 2024 wins the Arnold Classic South America. Next, we had the New York Pro. 2023 New York Pro had Beef Stew versus Tony O'Burton for your top 2. And these guys are incredible. They put on a bodybuilding clinic. But I mean, nothing doing. Because you fast forward to this year's, the 2024 New York Pro, and 1 and 2 were scooched off to the side. We had Tony O'Burton. We saw him placing 3rd, and Big Beef Stew getting 4th. Your top 2 consisted of perhaps the best ever Martin Fitzwater and the best ever Nick Walker that we've ever seen. And these 2 dudes put on a battle, making the 2024 New York Pro better again on paper and again in reality. What was the next event? The Cali Pro. Now this gets a little bit debatable. I guess you could say that last year's Cali Pro was a better event. We have Ross Flanagan. He defeated Tony O'Burton in a shocker. Quite an upset, actually. And then fast forward to this year's, and there was no Ross Flanagan, and Tony O'Burton wins the event. So last year's 2nd place wins this year's. So I guess, yeah, maybe on paper, last year's Cali Pro was better. Considering, yes, now that I think about it, Sergio Oliva was there, and he always creates some interest. So I guess we'll notch up a point for 2023. But I think that'll be the only one. What was the next event? Yes, the Toronto Pro, Toronto Super Show. Ian Valliere, who's Hassan, the Colonel Crunch Mustafa. He took 2nd at this event. And good old Ross Flanagan, he competed again, took 3rd. So this could be a little bit debatable. This is your top 3 from this year. John Jewett received 3rd. Quint Beastwood landed in 2nd place. Is Quint better than Hassan Mustafa? Well, Akeem Williams, he won this event. So is Akeem Williams better than Ian Valliere? I guess that would be the deciding factor. Well, here's the thing. Hassan Mustafa, he placed way down in, 5th in 2024, or this year's? And another factoid, IFBB Pro Robin Strand, he placed 4th in 2023 and in 2024. And dare I say, he was greatly improved in 2024. So your fourth place participant was better in 2024 for all intents and purposes. But still, Ian Valliere could be of some debate whether he is better than Akeem Williams, or was Akeem Williams better than Ian Valliere? I guess that's a question you have to ask yourself. But for the next event, I will take the guesswork away from you. This is the EMPRO Classic 2023. Michael Krizo, he walked in and took this title. Pretty sure they had his name already printed on the trophy. Jose Muniz, he's there beside him. He did pretty good. And it was Wellington Bautista. I believe he took third. And in second place was Andrea Presti. And as good as all those guys are, again, I'm pretty sure they were just feeding them to Michael Krizo. On to this year's EMPRO Classic, and dare I say, things did not work out the same way. In fact, Michael Krizo, he did return to try to regain that title, or retain his title, which I love. I love when they do that. But he got third. So last year's champion took third this year. It was Behruz Tabani. He actually defeated Krizo, and he's on fire. Behruz Tabani, he took second. And good old William Bonac. Little treat for this year. Yes, he's a little bit over the hill, but my word, he's not completely over the hill. He's in his prime. And like I said, what a treat for the 2024 EMPRO Classic, making this year's event 110 times better than last year's. And that just leaves one more event. The Flex Weekend Pro, or the Flex Pro Italy, whatever you would like to call it. This is your top two from last year. Regan Grimes. Him and Nathan Diasha threw down. Nathan Diasha, of course, did in fact take that title without too much controversy. I don't think much controversy at all. Fast forward to this year, Nathan Diasha again. I love this. Can't reiterate that enough. Nathan Diasha came to defend his title. And last year's champion placed second to Behruz Tabani, making this year's event, in reality, was it a little bit better, maybe? On paper, making this year's event better. Much like 7 out of the 9. We'll give 1 to 2023 with one tie. One tie with that Toronto Pro. But my word, 2024, so much better. Ladies and gentlemen, we also had the Detroit Pro. We had the Arnold Classic UK, which we didn't have in 2023. So if this reflects the Olympia that we are going to be treated to, this year's Mr. Olympia event will be the best in recent times, perhaps the best that we have ever seen. Pink. Pink. Well then, I guess that does it for this one. Hope you guys really enjoyed this 2023 versus 2024 video. I mean, there can be no question, I don't think. 2024 far superior. If you do have some sort of argument that you believe 2023, all the pro shows were better than 2024, well, I still like you and everything, but you are crazy. Totally crazy. Hit thumbs up on the video, whether you agree or disagree, if you enjoyed it at least. Have a great one, guys.